Hello, I'm Nick Holland with Information Security Media Group, and I'm joined today by Stuart Reed, who's the VP of Product and Marketing with Nominet. Stuart, welcome.
Thanks for having me, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So, last time we had a conversation with you was at the RSA conference in San Francisco a couple of months back, actually a few months back at this point, and you just launched Nominet Cyber Solutions there. So, a few months on now, what's happened since then?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Back in RSA when we last caught up, we'd just launched the Nominet Cyber Business stateside for the United States. And it's been a really busy time since. Not least, we're really pleased to have announced that we have a relationship and a partnership now with HasF1. So we are underpinning their cybersecurity strategy on their behalf. And as you'll appreciate, HasF1, like a lot of organizations, have valuable IP that they need to protect, and they have data assets that they need to get visibility around. So the CIO there, Gary Foote, has already seen a huge amount of value in using us as part of their security stack. So that's really, really exciting for us.
So that's a great partner to have. So we're here obviously at the InfoSec Europe conference. And you did a seminar yesterday. I'm just going to I'll get the title right here. So it's DNS, Cybersecurity's Best Kept Secret for Eliminating Network Threats. So again, I mean, just how is that, since DNS isn't new at all?
Well, you're absolutely right. It was great to see so many people in the audience actually yesterday. It was a really interactive session, good participation from the people there. But yes, DNS isn't a new protocol. It's been around for something like 35, 36 years now. And at the core, that's actually fundamentally why it's so critically important, because it is ubiquitous by nature. Every network that's communicating to another network is reliant on DNS in order to operate effectively. And in the context where widely reported analysis suggests that still 90% of malware utilizes DNS as a channel to be able to extract harm from a network, then it's of vital importance to people. But the reality is that it's probably only the last several years, with the efforts that have gone into research and development and Nominet's own focus on the analysis of DNS traffic at scale to provide private security, that's really allowed it to be considered and actively utilized as part of the cybersecurity stack. We're now at a stage where we can, at scale, look at huge volumes of traffic for organizations. We're able to distill that information, analyze that information, and look for malware attacks. We're able to look for phishing. We're able to look for some suspicious activities as well. So you may be aware that a lot of press coverage has been directed towards the principle of DNS hijacking of recent times. We're able, within our solution, to monitor particular domains for organizations, to look for changes within those domain structures that may indicate a DNS hijack. So as a user, you may instantly be going to your well-known brand name to go onto their website. The look and feel of that website may be identical to you as a user, but in reality, in the back end, your information is being directed to another name server that is giving you the information and also extracting the information from you. That's a real problem for organizations, and they're becoming really acutely aware that they need to protect their reputation, they need to protect their domain estates, and they're looking for a comprehensive way of being able to do that, not just for their own domain names, but also for third-party domain names as well. So those that they use as part of their trusted third-party supplier network, if their domains get compromised in some way, that's potentially a real catastrophic impact to those organizations and those users. So the information within DNS, the anomalies that we're able to see within DNS by applying our machine learning techniques and also understanding the wider context of known bad, our algorithms are there to be able to look for the as yet unknown bad stuff to help reduce the window of compromise on a customer's network from a DNS perspective. And we're seeing the results of that already, where we're cutting the window of compromise for users, we're removing those network threats, and we're removing malware, phishing, and data theft or DNS hijacking detection issues as well.
So you've been very busy, Nominet. So there's one other thing I was going to ask about is you've released some research recently around board attitudes to security and the CISO role.
Yes.
What did you find in that?
It's really interesting, actually. Back in the last year, we did research into the CISOs. What we've done right now is compare and contrast that with the broader board level attitudes to risk and also to the CISO role. And some interesting things we found there was firstly that there is still a perceived communication lack between where the board level responsibility for cybersecurity is and where they feel the CISO responsibility is. So broadly, half of those that we spoke to still see it as a directly accountable issue for a CISO or a security organization rather than it being a collective responsibility. So there is an opportunity there, I think, for them to start educating and getting visibility higher up into that chain. But one thing that is interesting also is when we spoke to CISOs in terms of where they felt their value was within the organisation, or their perceived value at least, broadly half of them, or just over half of them, felt that they were really valued by their peer group. Whereas when we contrast that with the board report, an astounding 3/4 actually see it as a very valuable part of their organisation and critical for the future success of their business.
So I guess bringing it back to DNS, how can DNS play a role in closing that gap, between the C-suite and obviously the CISO, and get greater collaboration, get that buy-in that we're looking for?
Well, I think it's really wider than just DNS, but certainly DNS plays a role. I think the wider piece or challenge to overcome is gaining that visibility across the whole of the business, of the importance and the impacts of cybersecurity or lack of cybersecurity. So being able to provide that visibility, as DNS does, across the whole of your estate, right from a board level member down to a security analyst, SOC analyst that's really looking at it at a granular level and getting that communication between those two levels of the business is really, really important. And DNS plays a role in being able to help elevate that message and is also able to start moving the conversation from just being a technology issue to what are the business challenges or what are the business opportunities, particularly from a digital transformation perspective, because as companies are looking to embark on digital initiatives, they want to make sure that they're successful and that they're scalable. Security plays a key role in that. So more and more, security needs to be seen as an enabler rather than just a cost to the business.
Well, again, fascinating stuff. It's great to see you, obviously, after RSA, and things are moving on clearly with Nominet. So, Stuart, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. So that's Stuart Reed from Nominet, and for Information Security Media Group, I'm Nick Holland.